Churchill, a small Canadian port town nestled in the Hudson Bay and Canada's only deep-water northern port, a geopolitical and economic miracle. But there is more to this town than meets the eye. Churchill, as we know it, is ending. July 2015, 100 plus people laid off. Six-time Mayor Mike Spence says, came out of nowhere? But did it? Mayor Spence is overwhelmingly popular. But is he and his First Nation friends leading his town and northern Manitoba to ruin? 3 years earlier, February 2014, local, immense dam projects begin again. Amidst vocal community outrage, previous projects have destroyed local fishing communities, relegating formerly navigable waters to 17% of their natural flow. 4 out of 5 First Nations reach agreements for outside regulated water flow in the name of modernity and power generation. The only problem? Churchill doesn't need more electricity. 80% of the homes are heated by propane, and the population of 800 is already dropping. Summer 2014. A single locomotive derailment causes 6 weeks of delays, forcing townspeople to pay exorbitant shipping fees for food. Later, in 2014, due to a global glut of oil, Canadian tar sands are no longer economically viable to ship out of Churchill, and Omnitrax ends its proposed exploration of oil shipments on its aging tracks. Fall 2015. Mayor Spence sees his opening and attempts to buy the Omnitrax port and rail system under the First Nations guise. Additional public money is required to close the deal, estimated at $20 million. Due to Mayor Spence's First Nation connections and Manitoba Member of Parliament Greg Selinger, backdoor business deals with the consulting firm MNP LLC, the proposed deal is put on hold when Omnitrax sues for breach of a non-disclosure agreement. Omnitrax, without the guaranteed wheat harvests and shipments made under the Canadian Wheat Board, and the continued cost of repairs to the shoddily constructed Canadian National Railway construction, Omnitrax cancels their season and reduces freight and passenger service to 1 time per week. In addition, Omnitrax lays off 100 plus people at the Omnitrax port. Back to July 2016. Mayor Mike Spence claims layoffs came out of nowhere. March 2017. Massive snow totals lead to even larger May washouts. 150 miles of tracks are now unusable, isolating Churchill from its only land-based shipping and transportation route. Omnitrax, currently in a legal dispute over the sale and breach of non-disclosure agreement with the state, does not begin repairs in time for winter. Now, Mayor Spence and his First Nation cronies have Churchill right where they want it. Special, federal, and provincial subsidies are put in place as locals no longer can provide their own food. Ecological measures have also been put in place to prevent hunting of historically local food sources. In addition to lack of food and the First Nations meddling, Churchill does not have affordable access to enough propane to make it through the winter, but have more than enough electricity thanks to the locally unpopular river and dam redirectment projects. 40 years of home heating data was available, but lack of independent heating sources also came out of nowhere. Now, without heat or food readily available, the town must turn towards the local monopoly on airline travel, spending upwards of $2,500 per person on round-trip tickets just to go grocery shopping. But, surprise, surprise, local First Nation groups have granted a near monopoly on airline service in the area with Exchange Income Corp., aka Evil Corp. The noose is set and the hangman is ready. But what is the real motivation here? What benefit does a town mayor and First Nation groups get out of bankrupting and causing great ecological harm? What could they be trying to do? Since being granted a permit in 2008, De Beers Diamond Corporation has operated 2 substantial diamond mines in the area, both of which are approaching the end of their viable life. In a public release statement, De Beers has mentioned the possibility of great diamond wealth under the Canadian Shield. Perhaps De Beers, Mayor Spence, and the First Nation know more about diamonds than they are letting on. Their goal of impoverishing the local community into taking low-paying jobs at the upcoming new diamond mine may be their goal. The First Nations, in exchange, would sign a similar operating agreement with De Beers in exchange for a share of the relative revenues. And don't think climate change is going to save this community. According to the Statement on Canada's Arctic Foreign Policy, Canada's northern waters are not predicted to become a viable, large-scale transit route in the near term. Mayor Mike Spence, local hero, or Professor Chaos, bent on enriching his First Nation buddies, destroying Churchill in the process.